Let's talk to Bashar in the Middle East.
Sounds good to me.
All right. Bashar, you're live with Eric and V. What would you like to talk about?
Hey guys, how are you today?
Well,
so before I start, I just want to give
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. So before I start, I just want to give a quick shout out to an atheist YouTuber called Sharif Gabber. He's like the only Arab YouTuber that I've ever heard of who like puts basically his life on the line just to talk about skepticism and things like that. Anyway, so I just wanted to talk to you about a personal dilemma I've been having, and like it sounds trivial, but it's a little like bothering me. It's basically that like when my theist friends come up to me and they ask me like, where should I start with atheism, or like what should I look for? What like I'm interested to hear more about it. A part of me obviously wants to like help them so that they no longer have to like deal with the guilt and whatever baggage comes with religion. But a part of me is instinctually like I want to discourage them because there's so much baggage that also comes with leaving religion and like the trauma or like the awful experience that you could go through and like dealing with people around you. So like I just want to see your take on it. Like which one would you go for if you were in my position?
Sure. Well, I can go first. You are not their keeper. You're not their babysitter. You're not their parent. And I think that while it's very sweet that you're concerned about the journey that comes with deconversion, I would say that the best thing to do is engage with them when they want to engage with you, and give them the opportunity. Give them the opportunity to learn. Give them the opportunity to make those decisions on their own. Because if you're making it for them, you're kind of robbing them of their autonomy. And I don't recommend that.
That said, there is something that I tell people mostly on the other show that I co-host, Secular Sexuality, which is a lot of people have the same kinds of questions about coming out as gay or as trans or some sexuality or gender identity. And the thing that we hammer home there is your physical safety comes first always. So there is certainly what Eric said. You are not in control of what happens to them after you give them the information. That is not something that you can own. That's not something that's on you. That said, they will then have to make a decision about whether or not they want to continue pursuing this and how much the risk of living in a situation where they're feeling like maybe they aren't living true to themselves is outweighed by, this could physically harm me. I'm dependent on parents who will kick me out if I come out as an atheist, or I live in a country where atheists are not tolerated. And so there are other components to that as well, but that does have to be their decision, and something that I certainly would encourage you to not put on yourself.
Yeah, I mean, giving someone information and causing them to think about why they believe what they believe, I don't think that's a dangerous or bad thing. I think that that in and of itself is not bad. What comes from it also is not bad. It's up to them to do with that information what they want.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay. Yeah, I see. So, just a very quick, separate question. At what point, does family become, say, I've heard this whole thing where you give family or whoever a year to do whatever they want, and then after that you have to make a decision, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like a Rumspringa with Amish people. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. So, you personally, at what point would you be like, okay, this isn't someone I want to be around, or it is someone I want to be around, or it's not worth.
Yeah, that is totally up to you, man. I mean, I have met people who just blow my mind, who have conversations with and live with and are in happy relationships with people who would drive me up the wall. And I consider myself to be pretty patient. And yet they have continuously shown that they're happy, content, and fulfilled? That's such a personal question that I don't think there's any kind of one-size-fits-all answer for it. The answer is however much you feel is right for you. You know, as long as you are fulfilled, as long as the relationships that you have are beneficial to you, fantastic. When they stop being that way, you have every right to make that cut at that time.
Yeah, and there's some things to keep in mind as you're juggling this, because this is a really intense question and one that I've had to deal with as well. And there are a couple things that I look for both in the other person and in myself, right? For the other person, if they are willing to either engage honestly with a topic, even if we don't come to the same conclusion, even if we are always kind of tense in that conversation, if they're willing to engage with it honestly, I consider that to be still an open door. Not necessarily that I'm going to try pushing my agenda on them, but as long as they are not stereotyping me or pigeonholing me or not listening to me at all, then that's a conversation that I can continue to have. It's when that becomes I want to convert you again. I'm going to bring every conversation around to this and not listen to your boundaries and not respect where you're coming from, that we then begin to have the conversation of, well, maybe this isn't beneficial for us. On my end, I pay attention to what my body is doing. If that person calls me and I get anxious, right? Or if I have a 5-minute conversation with them and I'm suddenly just exhausted and engaging with them for 5 minutes just wipes me out. Even if emotionally and mentally I'm not acknowledging that this is somebody who is harmful to me, my body knows it. And listening to that and being able to say, okay, this person takes a lot out of me, more than I'm willing to give right now. It might not have to be a forever thing, but for the time being, that's definitely someone that you should consider maybe, distancing yourself from a little bit.
Yeah, hopefully that helps.
All right. Yeah, that definitely helps. Thank you guys so much, and keep up the good work. Have a good rest of your day.
Will do.
Thank you
Take care,
so
buddy.
much.